We are wasting no time as we are jumping into the playoffs of Season 8, Elysium versus Aeternum, and I'm joined by none other than Commissioner-in-Chief themselves, Guiltspire. Are you ready for some playoff action?
I am very much ready as we see this Blight rushing over to the other side of the suffocation pit. We did see an early survivor there, but looking like Blight not going to chase them just yet, just trying to hold this bottleneck. It looks like those survivors wasting no time on the generators.
And I'm about to waste no time and jumping to a different perspective because that screen shearing is driving me batty.
Yeah, unfortunately, the entity has not blessed us with the gift of no more screen shearing here just yet. But that being said, we do get to see some survivor mind games in real time.
You know, I'm into it. I'm here for it. However, that Blight did use all 5 of their rushes in that first hit, and going around the backside of stuff a bit. I think the killer lost him, and instead chasing the Nancy.
It's looking like they did drop Chase instead. Ended up hitting the Ace here. So Ace now in chase with the Blight, heading over towards Shaq's side from the looks of things. And looks like they will also end up dropping Chase instead, now going for the Nancy here. Blight with maybe a little bit of commitment issues this match.
Either that or they're embracing the hit and run mentality. I mean, you never get the full, 2 minutes of corrupt intervention if you don't, right?
I mean, you're not wrong. A little bit of mind game here from the Blight. It looks like Nancy pre-dropping just in case, and for good reason, as we see the insta-shred there from the Blight.
Oh, yeah. Blight's all about that shred value, and trying to attack at the sun. Oh, good moonwalk, but the survivor able to read it and depthly get away. Worth noting, these survivors are so used to moonwalking at this point, it's like second nature, right?
Oh yeah, 1000%. At the same time, you can kind of mind game the mind game, right? And just, decide to just W key it, and apparently it will work because that's what you're expecting. Blight, though, gonna go for another mind game here on the Z-wall. Nancy doing a good job, though.
Oh,
Blight
man.
thinking that they're gonna go for the vault, and once again, just not able to get the hit.
Yeah, really good job here from the Nancy. Basically, hold on. I thought they were going comp corner, and they're like, actually, check out this Z-wall infinite I got going on. And, it worked out. However, oh my goodness, amazing mind games coming in here, wasting as much time from the Blight. But here comes, this is the ultimate question. Can you juke Shaq without a pallet? Apparently they can.
Yeah, I was about to say, we saw the value here. Blight with one more rush, though, but Nancy unable to avoid it. Looks like we will see first look here potentially in the basement, but that might be at the cost of multiple gens here, as we do see tap on one about to pop in. Ace just beginning, and looks like Claudette just setting up here for the first unhook of this trial.
It does make sense, as I imagine a team wouldn't give up their deli players so easily, right? That might have been what the Blight was looking for. Like, okay, let's see what player isn't given to me freely. Like, Ace was obviously like, handed on a silver platter, and they're like, that's too easy. We got to find the survivor they're trying to hide. So
I mean, it's not such the real possibility. At the same time, I mean, we've seen matches determined by survivors attempting to protect deli and getting still no value from it. Maybe
True.
Teams just are learning that, you have to give where you can and give the killers a fresh survivor and just work on gens.
Indeed, and with that said, looks like Blight gonna apply a kick to a gen and looking around, not seeing the Ace though. Oh, the last rush token was used. That was so close.
Yeah, no, Blight knowing that someone was there, not knowing where, and finally finding the Ace, but that bounce landing going to get them a little bit of distance into the middle of this map, and looks like Blight going to be going back around and looking for another survivor to chase, just not interested in pursuing the Ace any further.
It doesn't seem to be the case. Very interesting. They did get the unhook, the reset. Honestly, Blight not having a lot of pressure here. I'm really curious what the plan is. Yeah, survivors spreading out on the generators and stealthing out as well. Yeah, 3 different gens being worked on potentially here, and Blight's just hanging out, trying to look for a start. Man, this is uber stealth. This is the kind of stuff that I hate as a killer main, because I'm just like, just let me chase you, dang it.
I mean, it's something that we don't see all too often, right? Survivors normally not able to stealth out this efficiently, but these survivors just absolutely running this match and running the Blight by their nose as they just go from chase to chase. Blight unable to fully commit. Ace without the bounce landing there, their exhaustion just not refreshed just yet, but Blight once again Oh, I was going to say not committing, but instead giving a little bit of mind game there. Ace deciding to get their exhaustion, though. I'm curious to see. Oh, that was overcome.
Correct. It was overcome and lucky break. That's why they lost the ace the first time.
I mean, that would make a lot of sense, but it's overcome in conjunction with the bounce landing. A bit of an unusual combination, but working out here for the ace, who going to be trying to get to this pallet. Blake going to go for the rush and will get the down.
Yeah, they do end up getting in the 4 lane, and Survivor possibly setting up for the unhook here. Worth noting is that there's still multiple gens being worked on as we speak right now.
Yeah, and tapping away at that gen, apparently. Oh, they're going for the 2-gen
Yeah, they're
completion.
done. They got 5 gens.
Yeah, that is going to be the 5th gen, and the exit gates are going to be powered.
The killer's not right there.
Is the blade actually there?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was like, okay, I'm going to based on that. Yeah, the blade is on the tap and not just staring them down at the heel.
No. That's an old bug that's resurfaced somehow. But you know what? I'm kind of here for it. It's a pretty funny and kind of a gotcha moment.
Yeah, it's like the Doctor illusions, but just for the spectator.
Just for the spectator. And worth knowing is that this killer has not been able to utilize their full kit, surprisingly. No, never mind. There we go. We see it. There's the Spirit Fury Enduring.
Funny enough, that was probably the best situation for the survivors in having the person with the smash hit be the one to proc it. At the same time, Blight just able with all their tokens to end up getting them nonetheless. Looks like we're going to see the 3-man out. And realistically speaking, I think regardless of the end fury, survivors were going to give up at least one here for the 1K 5 hook.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You would give it up in any situation. I think what happened is, I think survivors saw the Enduring early on and then just imagined Enduring Spirit Fury, and that's why we never saw it proc until that moment. They were always pre-dropping. All right, everyone, welcome back to Champions of the Fog. We are in for trial number 2, and oh dear goodness, get me away from that screen sharing. Blight rushing across the map into the center and trying to find the first survivor, getting an immediate stun. And I think we saw the briefest glimpse of an Enduring there, so Guildspire, I think we know what we can expect here.
Yep, and survivors can too. But now that they have that knowledge, I wonder if they're going to play around it to the same capacity as the survivors in the first trial. That being said, we also do want to mention the win condition here for this Blight. It is looking like a 2K2 tie, but a 1K 6 hook to win. There's a lot of different options for this play. The TLDR is that a 2K 7 hook also wins. They are in a fantastic position, and with this first hit coming in here at the LT wall on the ace, I imagine Blake gonna follow it up with a potential down here. Ace gonna be re-dropping that pallet, not gonna risk the end fury, and looks like Ace, playing with fire there, the locker tech to boot.
Yeah, really good aggressive play there, but they will take a hit at the window, and first down coming in. We see multiple generators firing off in the distance. 2 people on this generator, 1 person on the other gen. Looks like they're going to be able to at least complete 1 of these here, if not possibly getting 2 of them off, but we'll have to see what comes in after this hook. Worth noting is that, like you said, with win conditions, they didn't hook it. Like last game, there was an entire survivor they didn't hook. So if you flash hook everybody, and you don't... Do you have to kill anybody to win this game if you 8-hook?
Theoretically speaking, the answer is no. I mean, like I said, Blight has a lot available to them as far as win conditions are concerned. However, survivors going to be cranking out these gens, not wasting any time. We see Deja Vu over there in Shack. However, funny enough, it just got deactivated there because it's no longer in the group of the closest 3 gens. So really interesting to see how sometimes popping that first gen when it's not the Deja Vu gen is actually a disadvantage.
Just a little bit, but at the same time, you don't want to leave a survivor behind. And they did get a lot of value from it. They did get probably over half the generator done with 6% additional. But now Blight coming in, looks like you actually got to take a hit here, but they will get further the 1-for-1 hook trade. Yeah, and we even see a little bit of Will make it, but it's not going to matter as they're going to be slugged out on the ground. Ace running for their life as borrow time slowly trickling away. I don't think you get it before this. Oh, it did hard!
Does not look it, but instead they have a dead hard in their back pocket. Looks like Blight gonna see that and say, you know what, never mind, don't need any of that noise. I'll be taking this Yoichi, thank you very much.
Honestly, fair. You know they can't go too far. And this is a really nasty hook for the killer as well. And killer also just knows, like, you don't need a ton here, right? Like, you just need fresh hooks. Another gen already 50%.
Yeah, and Ace still in chase. Gonna be here at this pallet. Gonna see that End Fury come into play. Smash it. Not able to proc there, as we did see Dead Hard earlier. We see a survivor up there on top of the hill, but looks like Blight going to go for them instead of going for the pickup on the Ace.
Does seem to be the case, and honestly, I think I approve of this. If you're the Blight, you know that Ace had Dead Hard, and what's a favorite pairing of Dead Hard?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things about meta picks, right? We definitely have seen a lot of Dead Hard decisive pairing, and so it does bring into question of, do they have a decisive strike? Is that why they were so confident in that chase to extend it as long as possible? The answer is maybe. So Blight may be conscious about that, taking their time for that pickup. Instead, going to pressure another survivor off the gen. I do believe we did see a pop goes the Weasel there on that generator. We did see that puff of smoke and a Jake with an attempt to tech the Blight there, but just not able to make it happen, and going to go back to that gen.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see another 1-for-1 trade here. This time, okay, I'll be completely honest. This is the first survivor I think I don't recognize the name of. I know it's a cosmetic, but what is the name of this survivor?
That's Cheryl.
Okay, it is? I thought it was
yes,
a different
that is
survivor.
Cheryl.
I thought it was a legendary cosmetic.
I want to say that is Cheryl. They might have like a Silent Hill name that's different,
Okay.
but it's Cheryl.
Okay. Ooh, no Dead Hard coming in this time. However, honestly, if I was the Blight, I'd be thinking like that's even more bait that could be a decisive strike, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a very real possibility. However, we see Jake actually in a bit of a predicament here, trying to get away from the Blight. And we see that pre-drop there. Blight actually maybe not aware of where the Jake was in the first place, so maybe a little bit of a too early of a pre-drop, and we are going to see the Jake end up going down here.
But I say, that's a slug out. Only one left is Yoichi. This is not looking good. Yoichi on a generator. Does Cheryl have deliverance? What's the plan here? Is there an unbreakable in play?
It's going to be interesting to say the least. Blight not even going to go for the pickup. Yoichi going to be down as well. And we do see the yellow bar of a unbreakable there on Yoichi, meaning that deliverance had not been procced yet, which is really interesting. They've had ample opportunity. Oh, actually, I guess no. They were on second hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind.
That's, I guess they were just trying to get the gen out. We call it a lot of the time, you know, 4K1 is pretty common against a Blight. And this is a really rough opening set here for Elysium, as that's a very large score. They can't afford to tie a set. They have to win both of these next sets flat out.
Yeah, that is what it is looking like now. Aeternum just doing a fantastic job, to say the least. And that being said, we are going to get set up for this next lobby here in just a few moments. And I'm going to be honest, we do have some interesting trials. I'm actually kind of wanting to make it to a set 3, not going to lie, because we haven't seen a Freddy in a very long time in comp, and we had the possibility of a tiebreaker Freddy face-off. But in the meanwhile, we are going to go over to the Dead Dog Saloon, where we do get to see the mastermind himself with the Mastermind Games. But before we do that, we are going to go on just a quick little break.
We are going in for trial number 3, and we have a mastermind set on our hands here. Looks like it's going to be Obi once again playing the killer here on the Dead Dog Saloon, and they see a survivor back here? Maybe oh no, the screen sharing, I can't. Sorry. We're switching.
Yeah, unfortunately, once again, unable to focus in on the mastermind, but survivors here are with the deck. We actually see a head-on there, I believe, from the Ace, as we saw them jump out of that locker, maybe trying to get the mastermind's attention. And looks like we are going to see them running over towards Shack side, and we do see them jumping on this gen here.
Indeed, looks like a good hit of the center gen. Yoichi coming around Shack. They do, okay, so they did end up finding the Jake here. Just had to check. And taking chase around this pallet. I think this is a very safe pallet for survivors, personally.
You're merely postponing the inevitable.
What do you think? Safe?
Yeah,
you know?
I would say that is semi. We do see a double blind there on the Mastermind. Jake getting a little bit too aggressive, though, will end up getting picked. And looks like they will commit to this chase. And they're going to be here at this pallet. Going to pre-drop, but ooh, just barely getting missed there on the M1.
Yeah, really good attempt, and oh, getting the hit around the edge there, and that is going to be first hook coming in for the killer here. And worth noting, they did have lucky breaks, so I think they were trying to lose them in the weeds, but it didn't end up working out. And instead, survivors are going to have to a little bit behind on gens, I would say. Trying to look around.
Yeah, survivors surprisingly not completing any here. We do see a Pop Goes Weasel here from the Mastermind, as well as a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance on the most progression gen that was regressed by 25%. So survivors in a little bit of a rough spot here off the start.
Just a little bit, to say the least, and running back around the side, we see Ace possibly coming up to set in for the unhook here, but honestly, with the proxy, they find the Yoichi as well. I mentioned Yoichi going to take a tag here. We got someone up top on the saloon. Yeah, so hard to tell. Like, I want to switch to survivor perspectives, but the killer is the one that's, like, you know, gauging the action here, and ooh, Balance Land is going to get them a lot of distance into the main building, though.
Yeah, and with that, going to be able to make it to the window here, but the Mastermind's going to have a lot of value available to them here, especially as they get pushed further towards the front of the building. Mastermind trying to get around that railing, but I don't think able to actually get the hit on the Jake thereafter. We see multiple survivors on gens, a couple about to complete. They need to get that here and now, lest they risk this Mastermind just snowballing out of control.
Yeah, it's a very good case, and ooh, that was so close. I think that might have been, okay, so I'm not used to the Unicorn Medallion. So this killer's running Unicorn Medallion, which, you know, equalizes the leaps and bounds. I'm not really used to it. But if they had not had I think that would have been a hit on that last bounce.
Yeah, I think I would tend to agree. And that's kind of the give and take of those add-ons, right? Like, it feels better for you as the killer, but sometimes can just rob you of the value that you need in order to get said down. We do see 2 gens popping off. This third one about to get popped there by the Mastermind, I would imagine. First, take a look around, see if they can get a hit on a survivor, but that's going to be 30% regression on that gen's current progression.
That it will be, and looks like, you know, proxying this out. This is a much more central hook that the killer wants to proxy, but survivors can run it and double up on this generator. I'm curious what the 3-gen looks like on this. Oh, good flick there, but Maria, I finally went up and looked at the name. It's Maria. It's a legendary cosmetic for Cheryl. There's so many legendary cosmetics for the Resident Evil. I'm sorry, not Resident Evil.
I was about to say Silent Hill.
I'm bad at this. I haven't played either game series. I'm a sinner. I know. I know. It's fine. Ace League would come in for the unhook as well. Oh! Oh, wait. Blinding themselves.
Yeah, I was about to say, we saw the firecracker there. They did get the blind on the Mastermind, I believe. Also get it on the survivor as well. We do see Jake with the vault there. Looks like they will be able to get upstairs just in the nick of time. Ace, though, taking a hit for them. And I believe that will be a bounce landing from the Jake, going to be able to get them a little bit of distance and ideally able to have them stay in this trial.
Absolutely. Looks like survivors are making a comeback, though. This saloon gen really, really close to finishing. They want this tunnel out really badly, and I imagine the central gen's probably going to get finished too by Maria at some point or another. There's the break. Wait, was that a bound break?
I do believe it was.
Lab
but we are going to
photo.
see one gen popping off. I believe Ace's gen's going to pop off soon as well. This might be multiple gens. No, Yoichi's gen is not close enough to completion, though. Ace might be getting hit here. No, that's right. They already got hooked on a Scourge Hook, so no Scourge Hook. This is what I say about all the time, though. Going for the tunnel out with Scourge Hook Pain Resonance almost feels like a bad idea because now you have 3 stacks of Scourge Hook, 1 gen remaining. Like, yes, if you hit it now on Yoichi's gen, it is going to be ridiculous amounts of value. At the same time, there's a chance you just don't get the value at all.
That's a very good point. It's difficult to say because, like, the traditional, you know, comp playstyle since for a long time is tunnel out the first survivor. And, oh, they actually did manage to find the Yoichi. Get a little bit complacent there on the camera, my bad. Didn't realize Yoichi was in chase and taking chase at the main building to boot. Curious if they're gonna be able to get to this window or not. Looks like they will be able to. Nope. Caster's Curse. Caster's Curse, folks. And you're right, I think that now that Scourge are gonna be coming to value. We do see Survivor in the distance, though. two different gens being worked on. So now the question is, do you even go for the unhooked, or do you just, set up on the gens?
I mean, I think there is an argument to be made on both sides. Hard to say for certain. That being said, we see the Mastermind coming over here towards this gen. The Cheryl here trying to get a little bit of distance, going to be going to this pal here, will take the hit and making way over towards Shaq's side. I mean, they're going to be going for the unhook now. They need to do it here and now, lest they end up going down and having two survivors unhook. A light coming in play, getting him a little bit of distance here. And not sure how far along Ace's gen is progressed, but it needs to be completed and completed fast, lest these survivors get put into a very awkward position.
I say awkward as in Ace getting hit as he just finished unhooking Yoichi, and now Ace running for their life. Multiple survivors infected. Everybody is injured. I think this is exactly what the killer wants now. This is where the Scourger comes into play, because you get hooks. Now you just hook everybody once, and all the gen progress they could have hoped for in this meantime, trying to, counterbalance the tunnel out. Now everybody just, 70% off the gens total, and then from then on out, Pop Goes the Weasel slows it even further. This is gonna be a rough comeback for these survivors.
Yeah, I mean, it's not outside the realm possibility, though. We do see the Cheryl here now working on gen once again. Mastermind going to be going over towards it. Good thing that they are moving away. We did see the spray from the Yoichi in hand, wanting to cleanse themselves. But at the same time, if they do that, then Killer Instinct's going to show the Mastermind exactly where they are. They're going to go for this hit on the Yoichi and will get it.
It's a beautiful and also arguably very disgusting hit on the Yoichis. That wasn't instant down, even though they were healed because they were fully infected. It's going to be a second hook coming in for Yoichi as Maria comes over here to work on a generator, but she's still injured. Survivors need to reset. This is kind of nightmare scenario for survivors, in my opinion. You've got to reset, you've got to deal with the infections constantly, and this is the inevitability, I would say, of Mastermind, it feels like. Eventually, at some point, like, unlike other killers where it's like, okay, get rid of the palace, at some point you're just at like this absolute deficit in the game state. You've got everybody slowed down. Doesn't matter if you're injured or not at that point. Just absolutely brutal. And how?
Yeah, so we saw the vacuum through the pallet there with the lab photo. I mean, it's the same thing of like Oni's, Insta Break / Demon Dash. So kind of the same exact scenario there, but with the lab photo instead. They will get the hook here on the Cheryl. I imagine that was the fourth and final Scourge Hook. Pain Resonance progressing most progressed gen by 25%. And a Pop Goes the Weasel to boot, progressing that gen by 30% of its current progression. The survivors do finally get a reset. The question is it a little bit too late here? We'll have to wait and see, as looks like Ace going to be going for the unhook. Yoichi going to be in chase here in just 1 second with the Mastermind.
Yeah, it looks like they were able to get the heal off in time. It looks like it was going to be a we'll make it on the survivors there. So honestly, that's their best case scenario. Able to get the unhook, able to get a reset going. They've fully cleansed themselves with the inoculations. I think this is the best survivor's best chance. You used all the pain res. All you have left is Pop Goes the Weasel. The problem is that your dead hook survivor is now the one in chase. Yoichi's got to do the Lord's work here with this chase here.
Yeah, and I mean, so far so good, and it looks like Mastermind is actually going to drop chase, realizing that they have waited a little bit too long. But Cheryl here still injured. Looks like they prioritized Jen over the heal. Ace with the pre-drop for the Cheryl, and looks like Cheryl in a little bit of hurt. So a light just not going to be able to make enough distance there, as Mastermind will get them there on the corner.
Yeah, they used the lithe and couldn't quite get the distance necessary. I think he might have got stuck in a corner, but they were doubling out that gen. 2 pistons firing. Yoichi, to be fair, the gens are about as split as you could ask for, so there is some upside here for the Stars. They might be able to finish this 5th gen. The question is, can they get any outs? Obviously, exit gate play is not very common on this map, just because even if they are opposite sides, you can usually get some kind of line of sight to them. I don't know. It's gonna be really tough to say. Oh, they do get the unhook, but Mastermind coming over here was gonna kick the generator. Look around for the Yoichi. No one to be seen. Stealthing out a little bit.
I mean, Mastermind knows that there's 2 survivors on the other side, so they can't waste all too much time, but Yoichi will be found. And now Mastermind just has to end this chase before too long, unless the 2 survivors on the gens will end up completing it. Mastermind with the break on the pallet zone and now about 50% on that gen. About maybe 22.5 seconds left before that is completed. And looks like Yoichi is just going to try and buy them as much time as possible.
Yeah, they are. And looks like they're going down under the pallet. Mastermind, will they go for the pick? They're going to go for the pick. They don't care that the 5th gen gets done. Okay.
I think they just come to realize that they're going to be able to get this kill at the cost of the gen. I mean, at this point, though, you pretty much guarantee a 3K here. It now depends on, do you find the Cheryl or do you find the ace? We do see that Killer Instinct looks like from the Cheryl, so a little bit of bait and switch there by the survivors to grab the attention of the Mastermind, but does not look like the Mastermind took the bait.
Doesn't seem so. Looks like they're trying to get set up for the exit gates. I think the exit gates are almost like side by side identical, so that's gonna be really tough here for the survivors. Looks like Maria not gonna be in chase. Ace gonna be the one taking hit over the pallets. Ace gonna get a little bit of distance here, but they are the head-on player. Not much you can do here. Balance landing already out of the argument. Mind games coming in, maybe. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly what's trying to happen. Will get the whiff there on the hit, trying to hold the Mastermind, but Mastermind not falling for it.
Trying, and they do get hit through the window, or the locker there. Worth noting is that the survivors did, in fact, activate No Way Out, and so that might be the reason this this Mastermind was willing to let them get to this point. As you can honestly go for this hook, get the kill, and then confirm. Well, actually, can you confirm death? These exit gates are really close together, like we thought, but maybe you can't quite confirm death with the hook there.
It's going to be interesting here because you do also risk, if the hook is too far away, a potential hatch escape. But I think that the hatch plus the exit gates are close enough, especially with the Mastermind's mobility, that they should be fine. Mastermind going for the pick here, knowing that No Way Out is going to end soon. There's going to be the hook here. I mean, I think Maria's only chance of escape is going for the exit gate behind these buildings here, but I think it actually has line of sight from, yeah, you have line of sight pretty much from everywhere. We see the unhook incoming from the Maria. This is a last-ditch effort. We have VT up and running, but no pallets nearby for the ace to use.
I think they're just going to, oh, did they cut chase? No, they didn't.
No, it looks like they just went around the window, thinking that they can get the quick down. That might be enough time for the exit gate.
Yeah,
it looks like Mastermind realizes too, is going to drop it. That's about 10 seconds remaining before the exit gate is open. We see the Mastermind in the distance.
I think they get it.
Will they be able to get this in time? It's going to be really close.
Oh, but the slam is perfectly aligned. Oh my goodness, they're not going to be able to get up. That's going to be the 4K. Wow.
I mean, at the end of the day, not a bad result by the survivors. At the very end, it was looking a little bit grim that they were not going to complete that 5th gen and power the exit gates, but they were able to make it happen. But this year will result in the 4K for the Mastermind, and we are going to see if Elysium will be able to respond in kind to close out set number 2 and this match. For if they win, that will be them moving on to the next stage of these playoffs. But if they lose, then we go to set number 3 with a Freddy mirror match.
Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I'm looking forward to a Freddy match if we can get there. But yeah, it looks this is going to be a tough one. We'll have to see. Again, I imagine Elysium very able to tie here, but they need more than a tie if they want to come out ahead in this this match overall. So we are with Kexuo. I'm sorry, Kexo. I don't know why I say Kexuo. It's Kexo. I just can't speak today. It's fine. That's why I have Guildspire here. Guildspire is much more well-spoken.
Exactly, and looks like we have the Mastermind already in chase with a couple different survivors finding the ace. We found 2 others in shack. Apparently just a really close spawn after that initial dash. We see them back in shack. We see that firecracker as well, trying to blind the Mastermind, at least getting them to turn around and waste a little bit of time, but ace gonna be on this corner. It looks like they will end up taking a hit there, and that's gonna be a very early down.
That it is. It looks like survivors are already spreading out on the generators First hook coming in. Worth noting, we didn't get to see it from our perspective, but the survivors are very well aware of this. Gil, I think this is a first. It's forced hesitation.
Yeah, force hesitation is not something that we've seen during the regular season. And so going to be interesting to see if it actually gets value here, because survivors are normally pretty good at staying their distance away. And I feel like force hesitation are really good on like multi-layered maps.
I would tend to agree. Also in maps where survivors bunch up, and let's face it, it's comp. Survivors only bunch up at the exit gate to show the killer how happy they are.
That is very true. Sometimes you get the occasional looper friends, which, at that point, to be fair, you can get a ton of value, but we'll see if that actually gets the Mastermind any hits or downs, as we do see this deja vu here about to complete this gen. These survivors wasting no time, as the win condition here for Elysium is going to be a 4K at 4 gens or less. A tie is at a 4K at 5 gens, but if just one survivor escapes via the exit gates, that there will be the win for a tournament in both this set and the match overall.
And not that I'm saying this to be like high on the horse, but let's face it, I think they'd also just be content with a tie in this scenario, because obviously you had such a good first set. You're like, okay, we would have to have a really bad Freddy game to lose this match. So obviously, you want to go for the jugular. You want to end it at 2-0, but there's options. Ooh, looks like we actually have a chase going finally. Let's go.
Yeah, we do. And honestly, even if they were to lose this set by a gen, it's still, realistically speaking, is going to be a 21-point difference in favor of Aeternum going into set 3 for the tie set. So, I mean, it's going to be rough one way or another. We see that down there on the Ace, the Mastermind looking around for the survivor will go for the pickup here. And that, there, friends, is a decisive strike.
They do, in fact, have the decisive strike in hand. It's going to be absolutely necessary. The leader coming in, desperately trying to take a body block for the survivor, almost body blocking them in. Another gen flying off. Survivors are absolutely pounding these generators and coming around the edge. Also worth noting, they didn't bring Unicorn Medallion.
Yeah, like we said earlier, there's a little bit of variability as far as the add-ons are concerned for the Mastermind, and so we do see each individual player's a little bit of flair and style. I believe we see the crank and the leather gloves here for this Mastermind, which, to be fair, is kind of what I go for as well.
Actually, it's not the crank, it's the Ouroboros tendrils.
Oh!
Yeah, so I've actually heard from a lot of Wesker mains. I'm not a Wesker main. I play a lot of Wesker, but I'm not a main. I'm not about to say that, but the crank apparently doesn't really do all that much, according to the masters of the game. So they say, like, just take Ouroboros tender or egg. And here we have Ouroboros tender. Survivors pounding the gen in the center as well. Delita on the ground still, but this is the campfire for our ace friend, and we're kind of in that similar scenario last time where we had a survivor dead at 1 gen left, and how do you keep this?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the question. It now comes down to similar scenario. However, do you want to point out they have main building up, and that's going to be really difficult for the Mastermind to defend.
Oh, good point.
In addition to these 2 corner gens, Mastermind might have mobility, but they can't really deal with verticality in the same way as like a Nurse, for example. And for that reason, and that reason alone, I think there's a very strong possibility of these survivors completing the 5th gen, at the very least to tie the set. However, getting a survivor out the X gate, well, that's another story entirely.
Yeah, that's very true. Also worth noting is, I'm wondering if forced hesitation might have been the reason that Ace was able to get caught there, potentially, because the Toledo went down and Ace didn't make a lot of distance after that, so might have been some more forced hesitation value. Also worth noting, I love that there seems to be a trend here. You've got forced penance and forced hesitation all being, perks that really punish you for body blocking. I'm seeing a trend.
It could, in fact, be a new cycle of perks, but that being said, we do see the vault there from the Wesker. We do see the drop down with the bounce landing, going to be getting a ton of distance here. And main building without a bamboozle, really rough for any killer that cannot deal with verticality. And we're seeing that there where the Mastermind is going to drop chase with the injured tap up on main. And we see both the Thalita and the Nancy just kind of hanging around, not really working on gens as of right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case, though. As long as one survivor here is working on gens, that's where you want to be. Especially, obviously, like you said, with the Saloon gen still being an option, it's just absolutely massive bonus for these survivors. And the Lita doing a really good job here. There's the Lithe coming in to get a ton of distance, getting back into the, you know, I would say the weeds of this map is the center buildings here. And I don't even know. Yeah, Wesker's going to leave them all together, and I can't say I blame him.
And the thing is, they know full well the tap is up on main, but they can't do anything about it. This is why Dead Dog Saloon, honestly, if I was Wesker, I would have replaced Forced Hesitation with a Bamboozle here, and I think the survivors realize that too, and are now just making a ton of use of that knowledge where they can just kind of hang out on main with Deja Vu and Balance to boot and not care at all.
Absolutely. Yeah, Wesker coming back, but okay, so you get back to this loop, and again, Tap has Balance Landing in hand, like speaking, like, yeah, without Bamboozle, this is awful, but against a Survivor with Balance Landing is so much worse, and oh, goodness.
I will say one thing that is in Wesker's favor is the fact that it doesn't lose a lot of distance on those vaults, but we see the gen about to pop. 2 survivors on the exit gate, just 20 seconds away from 1 escaping, and this match being closed out.
I was about to say, survivors have just played this so grotesquely well. Again, as a killer main myself, like, I would just be gagging about how well the survivors played this. This was just brutal. And yep, there is the exit gate being open, and I imagine we'll see 2 survivors making their way. Honestly, there's a hatch escape on the loose here.
Yeah, if Wesker misses this, which they did, there's the hatch, but Wesker on
they
top of it. Yep, and that there will be the... I think Wesker just realizing, yeah, get out of here.
Oh, man.
That there will be the 3, technically 2 men out there to end this trial.